Hi, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy E2 Blue with another video for you guys again. Sorry I haven't been doing a video for the last couple of days. My day job, work schedule, like my buddy Mark Holmes says, don't quit your day job. Because the bills pile up and you gotta work. And also I've been having some DJ gigs. I got one tonight and this week's just been hectic for me. But on this video, I just want to just basically rant for a minute. I've been having some things on my mind about our Dallas Cowboys and just some fans and stuff, and even some of my subscribers saying certain things. So I just want to clarify some stuff from my opinion and my standpoint. You can love it or hate it, comment if you like, good or bad, I'll take it. So let me take y'all back to Tony Romo era. When Tony Romo was here, of course, there's a lot of Romo-sexuals out there. I can say that I was one of them for a long time. I still love Tony Romo, I always will. But this is a new generation. This is now Dak Prescott's team, whether you guys like Dak Prescott or not. And a lot of you fans are down on him for whatever reason. I've had people say crazy stuff about Dak, like he's stupid and this and that. Like, stupid? Is he not about to get a doctorate degree? How many football players you can say to do that? The only other person that I know that has a higher degree than a bachelor's in the NFL that I know of is your boy Urschel from the Ravens that just retired a couple of years ago. And he was a mathematician. He was very smart. He actually quit football to go back to doing math and teaching and stuff. So, hand clap for him. Like I said, when Tony Romo was here, this was his offense. Technically, it still is, but I'm gonna get into that. When Tony Romo was here, we've had up and down seasons. As you know, we've only won a couple playoff games. We never made it to the Super Bowl with Tony Romo, and some of that is his fault. A lot of it isn't. Our coaching staff has been conservative for many years under the tutelage of Jason Garrett. Jason Garrett, I know, I want to say about 90% of you guys don't want him on the team, and I agree. We don't want him to be the coach anymore. I'm pretty sure that after this season, if he doesn't put up, or if we don't at least make it deep into the playoffs, or at least make it to the Super Bowl, Jason Garrett may not be on the staff next year. And I don't know. You can't really gauge what Jerry Jones says because he says one thing this week and it's another thing this week. Everything is contradicting. He'll say something, Stephen Jones will say something else. See, Stephen Jones is like the bad cop. Jerry Jones is the good guy. So it's like they're battling against each other. So I don't know if they're doing this on purpose to try to confuse everybody, which is a pretty interesting technique in my opinion, but needless to say, when Tony Romo kept getting injured and we kept getting quarterbacks coming in here, we had Brandon Weeden for a couple of years. We had Kyle Orton at one point in time. They didn't get along, so Kyle Orton rolled out. We paid Kyle Orton all this damn money. And again, I'm going to get into that cap stuff too because that's another crazy thing. The issue that I'm having is just the simple fact that we can't develop people. I see other teams consistently on the basis when they have their quarterback injured or the quarterback is out, the backup will come in and they'll get the job done and they'll win the game. For some reason, our Dallas Cowboys, I don't know what it is. Whenever our quarterback is hurt, and when Tony Romo was here and he was out, and we get a guy in there and he just can't produce. We had Brandon Weeden for what, 2 seasons? A season and a half, something like that? He was on the team long enough for himself to know what was going on. So that's how I know that it ain't the players, it's the coaching staff. I'm like, you have to draw up some different stuff for these players to excel. Because in my opinion, Brandon Weeden wasn't the greatest quarterback. I mean, he's never going to be elite, but he wasn't bad. He was serviceable. He was serviceable. He definitely could win you some games. Because there's no way you're going to tell me in hell that he leaves our team and goes to the Texans, and all of a sudden, he's winning games and going to the playoffs. What in the hell? Come on, man. Matt Castle, same situation. I mean, when he was with New England, he got them to the playoffs. So, and then he gets to us, and all of a sudden, it's a shit show. We can't even win a game. Come on, we have too much talent on this team at that time and currently to not be able to succeed. At least make it to the playoffs every year. I mean, this up and down season stuff is crazy. But one thing I would say in Tony Romo's defense, when he was here, one thing that you can't say about Tony Romo is that he wasn't tough. That boy put his heart, his soul, and his blood out there on that field. He literally broke his back to play for this damn team. And it was just like, I'm not gonna say it was for nothing, but I mean he had a great career. I mean, but it's just like when Dan Marino played. He was a great quarterback, but never made it to the game. Never made it to the championship. And you know, I don't know if he'll make it to the Hall of Fame. I hope someday he does, just because of his accolades and what he's done. But it's been too many times where Tony Romo had to literally put this team on his back. A lot of those 8-8 seasons that we had, and 9-7 seasons, and 6-10, and that was on him. Because if it wasn't for him, we would be 4-12, 2-14. Like we literally would not have we would not have been where we are. The record that we would have had, it could have been worse. Trust me, if we would have had a quarterback that didn't know that offense. Now, Tony Romo, one thing about him, we all know this, and if you didn't know, you know now that he's working with CBS in the booth, that he's great at dissecting defenses and he knows his offenses very well. I mean, you see what he did when he first came in. He's basically saying what the teams were going to do before they did it. Another thing is, too, when Tony Romo played, he audibled a lot. You know, when he had the run pass option, he would audible, and it just goes to show you that at that point in time, Dez has never been a great route runner, but especially at that time, if you remember, if you go back to those game tapes, you'll see where he's literally in the pocket, and I know y'all remember the clock going down to 2 seconds, and you're like, yo, snap the ball. But he's sitting here trying to get his players and his wide receivers and stuff to line up in the right spots that he needs to go, because when he audibles, they don't know what to do. So it's like, he was doing that. Now, that's one thing that Dak's going to have to learn how to do. And all you Dak haters out there, he is a young quarterback, a fourth rounder that wasn't supposed to be the quarterback. If you guys remember that. He wasn't drafted to be the guy. He was supposed to be insurance for whenever Tony Romo retired. Now, it happened earlier, but again, you guys have to remember that it's going to take time. Yes, he went 13-3 his first season. Because why? Tony Romo was there. Tony Romo was in his ear. He was able to coach him up and tell him, hey, this is what that is, and that's what that is. When you go this way, or you see the guy wiggle like this, he's going to come from this side and he's going to hit you on this side. So he had that. He had that leadership. Tony Romo was that leadership. Now that Tony Romo's not on the team, Dak Prescott was literally on his own. So, all I'm saying is, that made the difference. Now, Dak Prescott is learning. He is a smart guy. And for those of you that saying he's dumb, cut that shit out. He's not dumb. He's a smart guy. He's a very smart guy. And he's hella mature for a 24-year-old player. I mean, you got players out here doing dumb stuff. He's got his head on straight. And I know that, you know, he has a lot of great family values. If you know Dak Prescott's story, and when his mom died of cancer, and his mother instilled a lot of those values in him before she left this earth, and you can see it. He just trust me. He may or may not be our franchise quarterback. We'll see what happens this year, but I'm pretty sure he's going to do damn better than last year, because he's a guy that always trying to strive for success. And I believe that he's going to do better. But another thing on that end, the Cowboys have to help him do that. Meaning this coaching staff, they have to help him basically change the offense from what it was to Tony Romo to what it is now, which is Dak Prescott's team. They have to make it Dak friendly. If it's not Dak friendly, Tony Romo's not on the team no more. But yet we're still paying him because We have dead cap space, which is another reason why we can't produce and get some of the players that we really want on this damn team. But as I digress, Dak Prescott will do better going forward. Now, with Tony Romo not being here anymore, it's a good and bad thing because, like I said, he was that leadership to Dak, and he was able to help him succeed better. As you remember, when DeMarco Murray was with the team, when DeMarco Murray first started playing for the team, we weren't known for being a running team like that. Tony Romo gets injured, we get a backup in there. He struggles. We start running the damn ball. You see DeMarco Murray, monster, when he had those 2 seasons with those 1,000 yards. Cowboys was like, we need to run the damn ball. So that's what they started to do. They started running the ball, and the rest is history. So when DeMarco Murray left originally to go to the Eagles, which was crazy all in itself, that was a waste. That was a waste of a year of his career for real. I mean, he's doing much better with the Titans, but they may even get rid of him too. We'll see what happens with that. And there's been reports that he might come back. That's not gonna happen. We got Zeke now. This is the future. So, segue into what I'm about to go into. When the Cowboys drafted both Zeke and Dak in that draft, Zeke was there to complement Tony Romo. Remember, Zeke was drafted to help Tony Romo, so Tony Romo didn't have to do all the work like he's been doing, so he could preserve his body. But of course, he got injured before he really got a chance to work with Zeke. I mean, he played one preseason game with Zeke, and that was it. Now, me personally, I would have loved the full season just to see what Tony Romo and Zeke would have been like together. Come on now, y'all know that would have been great. But again, things happen, things change. Football is a business, and I need y'all as fellow fans to understand that football is a business. They generate money, and it ain't nonprofit. They make money. So at the end of the day, it's all about the business. And unfortunately, sometimes if you ain't at the top, you're gonna get cut off. And being an NFL player is not easy. You guys think that it's all glitz and glamour. You know, you see all the partying and all the stuff like that, but if you're not a core player, if you're that player that's on a bubble every year, you're definitely the type of individual that's going to get cut here and cut there. Where are you going to sleep at? Because these teams aren't in the same area. They're in whole different states. You have to uproot. And don't let you be married and have a family. That's really rough on the family. So I really kind of feel sorry for these players, especially the ones that don't make the money that the top players do. But, I mean, unfortunately, that's life. We all have to deal with that. And even us, the ones that work 9 to 5s, you know, we struggle every day. You see me, I'm doing multiple things for money right now. I got my full-time job, I DJ, I roller skate. I mean, I'm a jack of all trades. I do it all. So if you guys follow me more, you'll see more about me too, because I'll be revealing a little bit more about myself as we go along. But this off season, it's been an off season, but we definitely had a lot going on. So I haven't really got a chance to get into videos in my personal life, but as you guys start subscribing to me and I start getting more of you guys involved in me personally, I'll start, showing you guys more of what I do on a daily basis. But that's neither here nor there. But back to the Cowboys. So I'm sorry. Like I said, this is a rant. Like it or love it. I just on my heart. I just had to bring this to you guys. So again, fast forward to now. So Dak Prescott's the quarterback because of injuries. Tony Romo get benched. Dak runs and he eats. Dak flourishes, mainly because, one, nobody knows him. Nobody had tape on him. He's a great mobile quarterback. He's a smart young kid, and he had Tony Romo back there. Now, I'm pretty sure this offseason right here, Dak had a taste of what it's like to have a season that didn't go that well. Now, as you know, Zeke Elliott's won national championships and stuff with the Buckeyes, and Zeke don't really lose that much. And he's a young, immature guy, but I hope that after all this stuff that went down with the girl and stuff like that, I really hope that Zeke definitely learns from all this situation, whether he did it or not. I just I just hope that he learns from this, and going forward, he matures himself and keeps out of trouble. Now, we haven't heard anything in the offseason from Zeke, which is a great thing. So we'll see what happens in OTAs and training camp and stuff like that. But I really want to see him succeed, because I know he has a good heart. It's just that he's a young guy. He has to learn, and all about maturing. And sometimes you got to make mistakes to get better, because everybody is different. You can't. I'm not a type of person to judge people, especially without knowing the situation. So I don't kind of speak on a lot of things like that, because it's just it's not my place. But anyway, Dak and Zeke, I feel like if we keep this unit cohesive and this coaching staff stops being conservative, like that's the thing. Like, we don't know how to adjust. Now, I hate talking about the Eagles, and it is what it is. They're a rival, but there's no denying what they did in the Super Bowl. And I'm going to keep reiterating this until we make changes. Nick Foles is not the greatest quarterback, but he's a college-style player in the NFL. And Doug Peterson, their coach, I got to give him a hand clap for that. And, when they had Frank Reach, I mean, he just, he left. But what I'm saying is, in that Super Bowl game, they were able to change things and make adjustments. So every time the Patriots try to figure something out, they maximize their opportunities. It's great to have your core players, but these players that are your second and third level players, they have to produce too, especially when you get to a big game like that. Your whole team has to work as a cohesive unit. If you guys are not together, you're not going to win shit. And at the end of the day, you have to make sure that everybody's doing their job. If everybody's doing their job, you can't stop a team. When the last time you seen the Cowboys use all three of their running backs in the game? I mean, we have players that sit inactive. I don't know. When Darren McFadden was on the team last year, he sat the whole damn season, and he wasn't injured. I don't understand. And he was he was a fourth pick in the draft back when he came out, when he went to Oakland. Now, a lot of you fans, and I had a subscriber come at me about getting a running back in the first round. And I'm like, nah, they're not going to do that. And the reason being is because, yes, they have Zeke. And the team is actually, whether you guys as fans like Rod Smith or not, the team is very high on Rod Smith. And I agree that he's not an every down back, but he's definitely a change of pace back. So if you got Zeke in there, he's healthy, and you got Rod Smith. But again, this is all contingent upon the fact if they make these changes or not. If the team is not making these changes like we should and stop being conservative, then all of this is a moot point. But what I'm saying is, we have the talent on the team. We just got to add some more pieces. Now, I'm going to do a video before the end of this weekend about some more guys that I have that's coming out in the draft this year. And I'm be doing more of that. So both me and my buddy John Gardner, shout out to John Gardner, DMV Dallas Cowboys, go follow him too if you don't. We're doing this draft stuff, and literally we're working hard trying to get these players so you guys can see who's out there. And of course, like I said, I know a couple of you guys have been bringing some guys' names to me. I appreciate that. Keep doing that, because there might be some guys I miss. I'll do some things on there, and then on my future videos, I'll do more on those guys, kind of help you guys out and give you guys a basis on what makes sense on what we could get in the draft. I'm not going to waste my time on draft picks that I know that are out of our reach, or guys that don't fit our system. And see, that's another thing you guys have to realize, that when you're drafting a player or when you're getting a player on your team, it has to fit your scheme. And we all know, like I said, the Dallas Cowboys are very conservative when it comes to their team and their plays. And we've had a lot of talent that we wasted. Look at Martellus Bennett. I mean, we've had a lot of players, and I even like Gavin Escobar. Some of you guys didn't, but we just don't know how to use guys when they're in our system, because whether they're trumped by a greater player like Jason Witten, we're not gonna produce a great tight end until Jason Witten retires. That's just the end all be all right there. There's nothing you can do about that. Everybody that's behind him is just gonna be behind him. And hopefully that they learn, so when he does leave, they can take the ranks. Now, again, I just hope that we can develop these players better because there's players coming out in the draft, and I think my boy John Gardner mentioned one of them too. It's great to have some of these great players and their attributes and them being able to deadlift all this weight and be able to run this fast and do this and do that and jump this high. Yeah, but all that doesn't matter if you can't use the guy. We got to learn how to use these players. And that's very frustrating as a Cowboy fan to just see our team falter. And it's like the team literally like they make excuses for losing. Now, I believe that Bryce Butler was wrong for some of the stuff he said, but some of the stuff was actually factual. And if you listen to what he was saying, yes, he burned hella bridges, and he ain't coming back. And like Mark Holmes said, his nameplate ain't in the locker room no more. So that's basically saying, he ain't coming back because he burned that bridge. He need to go back to the Bay Area for all that. But one thing that he did say that like got me thinking was he was talking too much. So the team wasn't having that because it was like, well, you telling our secrets. He felt like when Zeke was suspended and we had Alfred Morris in there and changing the pace with Rod Smith, that like he felt like the team was making excuses for losing, saying that, oh, well, we didn't have Zeke. There was a lot of controversy. You guys are picking on us. Yes, all that may be true, but real winners win. Real winners don't make excuses. And we're a laughing stock. I know y'all are tired of Stephen A. Smith talking about our team every day. Because I'm tired of it too. Him and Shannon Sharp just laughing at us. You get tired of that. But you got to put up or shut up. And if we're not putting up, you got to shut the hell up. So at the end of the day, we got to do better with that as a coaching staff, as a team. Everybody has to work together. Now, again, like I said, if Jason Garrett don't produce this year, he got to go next year. He got to go. Because one thing about Jason Garrett that, he has different faces. And I've heard people that work for the team talk about this all the time. The fact that, like, he has a face for the media. He has a face for the team. He has a face for the players. For the fans. He has a different face for every different group that he's in. Don't get me wrong. He's a Princeton graduate, so he's smart as hell. But the problem is he's conservative, so he only thinks one way. You got to be able to change. If you're not ever changing, because technology changes every 5 to 10 years in the world that we live in today. So if you're not adapting and you're not changing, you're going to be stuck in the past and you're going to be a loser. And we can't have that. So, all you guys that are down on Dak, I guarantee y'all, Dak going to be a better player coming in the future. And if for some reason he's not going to be our franchise quarterback. But right now, this is who we have. You guys gotta roll with it. And if you're a real Cowboy fan, y'all gotta stop the hate on it, because I don't want our fans to become Eagle fans. I don't want us to become bandwagon fans like other teams where, like, when something goes bad, it's like, oh man, forget him. He's a bum. He sucks. He's a bust. I was like, you guys are cutthroat sometimes. Like, I expect that from the Eagle fans. I do not expect that from my Cowboy fans. You guys got to be more patient, and you guys have to learn a little bit more about how football works on all facets of the way that football works, because it's more than one side of football. And people like me, Mark, John Gardner, people like us that actually played football and we actually played organized sports in our day, you got to understand that. You got to understand the game and how it works. That, there's a stipulation to everything. Everything has a reason. And once you learn that, you will understand that, like, some of the comments that you make don't make sense. Now, granted, everybody has their opinion, and I have mine, and some of you may like it, some of you may not like it. It is what it is. But all I'm saying, I'm just trying to give you guys a different perspective on things, to try to open your mind to the realism of what we're dealing with today. All right? So, again, you guys got the combine coming up. Definitely got the draft coming up. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing some more videos on everything and just going over some stuff. And I just want y'all to understand and just have an open mind about things and stop with the hate and stop with the criticizing so much, because again, there's more to it than everything. Yes, we had a, we still had a winning season technically, but it doesn't matter because we didn't make it to the playoffs. And I know that everybody's down on that. And nobody wanted to see the Eagles win the Super Bowl, and I didn't either because I was in here depressed when they won the Super Bowl, because we can't joke about them not having a ring no more. But at the end of the day, they won. Congratulations to them. This is now a new season coming in March. The new season starts. We have to focus on 2018 and beyond. We have to get ourselves together as far as fans to support this team. Because if we're not supporting the team, then it's all not going to work. So we have to support each other as fans. We have to support the team and just stop it. We don't want to be like those fans. Now, one thing about our Dallas Cowboy fans, you've seen it over the years. We wear T-shirts to say, "Win, lose, or draw, Cowboys till I die." All right. So if you're a real Cowboy fan, you're gonna be in it, win, lose, or draw. So at the end of the day, be a real fan. All right. Now don't hate me for saying some of this stuff, but I'm keeping it 100. And one thing about me, and one thing that you guys will learn when you follow me, I'm always gonna keep it 100. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not gonna tell you no bull. It is what it is, good or bad. I admit, yes, we've had bad times, and Dez himself has not been the greatest. He's been dropping balls, and some of that is Dak's fault. Some of that is his fault. They're not on the same page. But one thing that I did read that basically Dez, I I don't even know. See, Dez is. They keep talking about this contract talk, and he's mum. He's now mum on. Of course, it's gonna be mum. He's not gonna tell you that he's gonna take a pay cut. But if he does, there's only two options: either he takes a pay cut, or they cut him. Now, the way Stephen Jones talking, he over there like a thug, like, hey, well, if you don't put up, you want to get up out of here. You know, He always says, we love Dez and we love his compassion and blah blah blah, but we don't want it to be a distraction. So you gotta read it in between the lines sometimes. So I don't necessarily think they're gonna cut him. I think that they're gonna somehow change his contract. If he doesn't take a pay cut, hell, he may take a pay cut. We don't know what's gonna happen, but like I said, stay tuned on that. But one thing he did say that him and Dak are working together this offseason to try to get a rapport and get some cohesion together and make sure that they're on point. Because I'm telling you, if Dak plays well this year, I mean, and both Dak and Dez play well this year, I don't want to hear you guys saying, the ones that are hating on both Dak and Dez saying that they need to be gone. I don't want to hear y'all say when they start doing good, oh, we love Dez. No, you hated them this past season. So don't hate somebody and give all this criticism, and then all of a sudden they do better, and then now you're jumping back on the bandwagon. Don't do that. Don't do that. You gotta look. You gotta look at it. You gotta look at it more in depth. Now, granted, everybody is different. Everybody has their opinions. I understand that, but again, you gotta look at it from a different perspective. Just sometimes when a player has a bad year, it's not always on them. It's other factors. I'm not in the locker room, and you're not in the locker room. So at the end of the day, we don't know what's going on behind the scenes. So before you put out there that he's a bum and this and that, like you literally have to like look at the bigger picture. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Just open your mind to a bigger picture of the team, and we'll all be better at the end of the day. And I know it's the off season and everybody's reeling because it's like it's no football on Sundays, and you're just trying to get all the information you can, and you're just frustrated. I get it. Trust me, I understand. I'm a very understanding dude. That's one thing you guys will learn about me. But at the end of the day, we got to stick together. Now, I would love to go to a training camp. I've never been to one before, just to see these players up close and see what they're doing and things of that nature. But again, I really hope that the coaches that they picked up in this offseason is going to help. Sanjay Law, I heard that him as a wide receivers coach, he's good at teaching players and building them. And that's what he did when he was with the Colts. And hopefully, if he could keep Dez calm, then that's a win-win for us. Chris Richard, he's already put his mark on that defense, you know, by moving Byron Jones to cornerback, and hopefully that whatever we do with that. But what I'm really excited about, and one thing you guys have to understand, these young DBs that we have, um, Chidobe Awuzie, I mean, he's a very good player. I mean, it's been, I mean, if you look at his percentage, he was like leading the league in in rookies defending. He didn't get burnt very often, if he did at all. And that was when he played. He didn't even play the whole season because he had a hamstring injury. And that's another thing too that I'll talk about later. But this whole hamstring thing, I don't know what it is with our strength and conditioning staff, but we get a lot of hamstring issues. I feel like we get them more than other teams, and it's kind of weird to me. I don't understand it. But at the end of the day, these guys are going to do good. Xavier Woods, and I mean, we got some hitters. And these young guys, once they learn, and it's good that they were on that defense actually playing in meaningful games towards the end of the season because they got to learn. And, you get an off season, you get in that weight room, you start working out, you stay in shape, you get better, you start looking at film of yourself, and you're like, okay, this is where I messed up at, and this is what I need to do better. And at the end of the day, they gonna get better. And I'm telling you, this defense is gonna be top notch. We still gonna have DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, whether they give him a contract or he plays on that tag, he gonna be in Dallas this year. So, like I said, we get some good defensive tackle in the draft. And again, our needs in this draft, first and foremost, D tackle. We need an offensive guard and maybe a swing tackle. We need a linebacker and a safety. Now, we may get safety in the free agency. Hopefully, we get Earl Thomas. I don't know what our money's going to be like because, the Cowboys, they're good at moving money around, and they're going to do that wherever they can. But I can't really speculate on anything right now because it's still kind of early. Where these guys are projected in the draft this year, it's really hit or miss right now because we haven't had the combine yet. So you'll start seeing where players will drop or rise to after the combine. So, with that being said, I'm going to do another video before the weekend is out on some of these more prospects so we can talk more about the draft. But that was my rant. Thank you all for subscribing to my channel. Those of you who have not, hit that subscribe button. Follow your boy. This has been E2 Blue with another video. I'm out. Peace.